Good evening.
I just want to first say thank you for being here, because I could have been anywhere else in the world. Tonight, Okay, how many people have ever considered taking on a new task or project, though you know you've never done it before? You went in with the mind state that I'm going to be successful. I know it. I feel it in my heart. No matter what, I know I've never traveled down this road before. In fact, this road is the road less traveled, the unbeaten path. But you still say, you know what? I'm going to be successful. I know. I feel it in my heart. Everybody felt that way? Okay. Now, how many people were excited in the beginning? You know to yourself, this is a great idea. You know what? A friend of mine came to me and he presented this idea to me, or I sat down and I thought about this during my me time, and I know it's going to work. But then after a few hours, maybe a few days, maybe after presenting the idea to someone, you become a little apprehensive. You start to think twice about doing it. Right? And let that little itty bitty voice in the back of your mind come forward and whisper something in your ear. You know what I'm talking about, that voice that you hear that says, well, you know what? Maybe we should rethink this idea. Maybe we shouldn't travel down this road, because the distance of the road we're used to traveling is a lot shorter. The terrain on that road is a lot harder. You know what? You don't even have the proper boots on today. So instead of traveling down that road with these boots, let's just scrap the whole idea. Because it makes more sense to stick on the road that we know, right? When you come to class, 9 times out of 10, you travel the same route every day. Even if it's traffic, you say, you know what? This is the way I know. It's the fastest route. I don't want to get off this route because I might be late. I might have to do 25 push-ups, 50 push-ups, jumping jacks, Simon says. So you scrap the entire idea and you give up on what you initially thought was a successful plan. Why? Why do we do this? Anybody know? I know I've done it many of times. I've given up on so many countless ideas and things, ideas to start my own business, ideas to go back to school, right before I came back to school, with a fear that I wouldn't be successful. The voice, I listened to it. Now, I will say that some of the ideas that I may have had in the past were larger than I could handle. You know, grandiose plans, starting my own club, were like $5. You know. But the number one idea that I could come up with for the majority of the time is fear. Fear has stopped me, or I've allowed it to stop me from being successful. A number of things that I plan on doing, I thought were great ideas. Most people suffer from 2 types of fear, rational and irrational. Now, a rational type of fear would be if you were in imminent danger, right? If you were under attack, if a group of people were chasing you, that would be a rational fear. An irrational fear would be something that's within the mind, something that you make up on your own. A fear of public speaking. A fear that if I get up here, you might get up and chase me. You might, but that's highly unlikely, right? Right? I hope so. Now, what exactly is fear? Dictionary.com defines fear as a distressing emotion aroused by impending danger, evil, or pain, whether the threat is real or imagined. I'll repeat the last line. Whether the threat is real or imagined, which means that it doesn't have to be real. You can make it up in your own mind. Let me tell you a short story about fear, how I let it control my life. When I was in high school, I was enrolled in an AP, Advanced Placement, art course. I love art. Okay? I love all forms of art because I feel with art, you can allow your emotions to be shown, to be heard, You can dance it out, right? Everything can be placed out for other people to enjoy or to interpret. They may be clueless on why you actually did it, but it shows a part of you that most people have no clue about. One of my art projects was placed into a competition in Union County. My art teacher did it for me. And after about a week, I was notified that I had won second place. So I'm proud, and I run off to inform my family, tell my mom, hey mom, guess what? Your baby boy won second place. Of course, she's proud, she's happy. Right? My family gave me positive feedback. So I took the positive feedback and I thought to myself, you know what? Art might be my tool. That might be the path that I need to follow. I'm going to be an art major. I'm going to major in art. I'm going to find out what college I need to do, go to, and find out what I need to do to get into that school. I go to the guidance counselor next week. I talk to her. She's pretty excited about it. She tells me all the things I need to do, a couple of programs, a couple of great schools. I'm happy. When I presented the idea to my art teacher, she didn't respond with the same type of enthusiasm. Okay, in fact, she criticized my work ethic, she criticized my art, and then she criticized the art programs at the schools. Why? She was an art teacher. Why would she do that? Definitely is. But it was her fears. Her fears of what she had to go through. She remembered what she went through going through art programs. She remembered how hard it was for her. And because it was so hard for her, she didn't want anybody else to relive it. But see, that was an irrational fear because it was in her mind. She didn't know whether I would go through it. But she allowed her fears to come forward and tell me, you know what? You actually don't want to do that.
She held you back.
She held me back. But I allowed it to hold me back. How did I do that? I listened to her fears. Her fears became my fears. So instead of applying myself and chasing after what I knew that I could do, a path that I knew I could travel down and be successful, I allowed not only my voice, but her voice to come forward, and one on each side whispering, you know what? Maybe your art really isn't that good. Maybe you truly don't spend countless hours in providing such intricate details on your artwork as you think you do. Maybe it's best that you don't travel down this path because the boots you're wearing aren't prepared for art class. I gave up. I finished out that year, received my grades. Though my grades were high, though I had won second place, I decided to travel down a different path. I allowed that fear to conquer me instead of being the other way around. The moral of the story is that you should never allow, one, something that truly doesn't exist to control you. You have the power within. With that, I'll leave you with this quote by the author Frederick B. Wilcox. Progress always involves risk. You can't steal second base and keep your foot on first.